Chapter 1. We Were Happy. My name is Lisa. I am 25 years old. I want to tell you about someone I loved. His name was Adam. When I met him, I was not looking for love. But he came into my life like sunshine after rain. He smiled at me like I was special. He called me his favorite person. At first, I didn't believe it. But then I started to trust him. He talked to me every day. Morning, night, any time. I was always on his mind. He listened to me. He made me laugh. He asked about my dreams. He told me about his past, his pain, and his hopes. I felt like we were one heart. I told my friends, I think I found the one. They smiled and said, "You both look perfect together." We had small habits. He sent me a good morning text every day. At night, we said, "I love you," before sleeping. He never forgot. On my birthday, he gave me a small gift and said, "It's not about the price, it's about love." I still have that gift in a drawer. We watched movies together, shared food, and walked holding hands. I remember how he looked at me when I laughed. His eyes told me I was enough. I loved him with all my heart. I never thought he would leave. I never thought I would cry because of him. At that time, I was sure he was my future. I wanted to grow old with him. I didn't see the signs. I didn't think love could change. But now I know. Some smiles hide goodbye. Chapter 2. He changed slowly. After 1 year of love, something changed. It was not loud. It was not fast. It was slow, silent, and cold. At first, I didn't understand. I thought maybe he was tired or busy, but day by day, his love felt less. He stopped calling first. He replied late. His words were short. His voice was different. He didn't say, "I love you," without me saying it first. He didn't ask, "Did you eat?" or "How was your day?" like before. I waited for his good morning messages. Sometimes they came at noon. Sometimes they didn't come at all. I started feeling alone, even when he was near. That was the worst part. I asked him once, "Is everything okay?" He looked at me and said, "Yes, I'm just tired." I smiled and said, "Okay." I believed him. I wanted to believe him. But inside, I was scared. I could feel the distance. His hugs became short. His eyes didn't shine like before. He didn't hold my hand when we walked. He checked his phone more than my face. I still smiled in front of him, but when I was alone, I cried. I wiped my tears and told myself, he will come back to me. He still loves me. But my heart knew the truth. I just didn't want to accept it. One day, we met after a long week. He didn't even notice my new dress. He didn't say, "You look beautiful," like before. We sat in silence. I asked, "What should we eat?" He said, "Anything." That anything broke me. Because before he always had a plan. He used to say, "Let's go here. Let's eat your favorite dish." But now he didn't care. He didn't ask me what I liked. He just sat and scrolled through his phone. I looked at him and thought, is this the same person who once said I was his world? That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept looking at the wall. My heart was full of questions. Does he still love me? Is he tired of me? Is there someone else? I didn't know the answer. I didn't want to know. I was scared of the truth. I held my pillow tight and cried into it. I didn't want my parents to hear me. I didn't want my friends to ask questions. I wanted him to love me again. I wanted things to go back. But love doesn't come back just because you want it to. Sometimes, love dies quietly, and we just watch, helpless, as it leaves. Chapter 3. The day he left me. The day started like any other day, but my heart felt heavy. I looked at my phone, waiting for a message. There was nothing. No good morning, no smile, no voice. Just silence. It had been like this for days, but today felt different. I don't know why. I put on the same dress he once liked. I wore the earrings he bought me. I tried to look normal, but inside I was breaking. I went to meet him. I wanted to talk. I wanted to hear from him, even if it was bad. I couldn't live in silence anymore. I needed to know. I needed the truth, even if it hurt. He sat across from me at the small table. He looked tired, or maybe cold. His eyes didn't meet mine. He was quiet. I smiled and said, "Hi." He looked up, gave a small nod, and said, "Hey." That one word told me everything. The man who once called me his sunshine now spoke like I was no one. I asked, "How are you?" He said, "I'm okay." Then he looked away. My hands started shaking, but I kept them under the table. I wanted to stay strong. I said, "Can we talk?" He nodded again. My voice was soft. "Adam, please tell me what is happening. You're not the same. You don't talk. You don't smile. You don't ask about me. Please. If you don't love me, just say it." He stayed quiet for a long time. Then he said something that stopped my heart. "Lisa, I don't feel the same anymore." I blinked. I thought I didn't hear it right. "What?" I asked. He looked at me and said it again, this time slower. "I don't feel the same love I used to feel for you." My world broke in that one sentence. My lips were dry. My heart was racing. My hands were cold. I asked, "When did this happen?" He shrugged. "I don't know. It just faded. I tried to fix it, but I can't force love." I couldn't believe it. The man I gave everything to now spoke like love was just a passing feeling. I asked, "Is there someone else?" He said, "No," but his face didn't look honest. I didn't ask again. I was too hurt to speak more. Tears led down my cheeks. I didn't care who saw. My heart didn't know how to stop the pain. I said, "You could have told me. You could have at least respected me enough to talk." He said, "I didn't want to hurt you." I looked away and whispered. He stood up. "I'm sorry, Lisa." That was the last thing he said before walking away. He didn't hug me. He didn't hold my hand. He didn't look back. He just left. I sat there for a long time, alone with my tears. I looked at the chair where he sat. It was empty, like my heart. People walked past me, but no one saw my pain. I felt invisible. I had never felt so small, so unwanted. When I finally got up, my legs felt weak. I walked home slowly. Each step was heavy. I entered my room and sat on the floor. I didn't change my clothes. I didn't eat. I just cried. I cried for the love I lost. I cried for the promises he broke. I cried for the girl who believed in forever. I looked at the mirror and didn't recognize myself. My eyes were red. My face was pale. My heart was full of questions and pain. I asked the mirror, "Why did he stop loving me?" But mirrors don't answer. They only show you the truth. That night, I didn't sleep. I just hugged my pillow and remembered every moment with him. His voice, his laugh, the way he held my hand. Everything hurt now. Every memory became a knife. I wished I could go back and stop myself from falling so deep. I wished I had seen the signs earlier. But love makes us blind. It makes us hope, even when everything is falling. Now I was alone, truly alone. He had left me, and he wasn't coming back. Chapter 4. I'm still here. Days turned into nights. Nights turned into more painful mornings. I stopped waiting for messages. I stopped checking my phone every 5 minutes. The screen stayed quiet. His name never appeared again. I used to run to my phone with a smile. Now I looked at it with empty eyes. The person I once called mine had become a stranger who knew my fears, my favorite songs, and the way I cried. But he didn't care anymore. That was the hardest part. Not the breakup, not the goodbye, but the silence from someone who once knew everything about me. I didn't tell my friends everything. I said, "We broke up," and gave a fake smile. They hugged me, but they didn't know the storm inside me. Every time I walked past the place we used to sit, I looked away. Every song that reminded me of him felt like a wound. I tried to delete our pictures, but my hands shook. I wanted to keep them just a little longer. I wanted to feel like I was still important to someone. But holding on to those photos hurt more than letting go. One night, I sat with them one last time. I looked at his smile, our smiles, and whispered, "Thank you for the memories." Then I deleted everything. My phone was empty. My heart still wasn't. I missed him at the most random moments, in the middle of dinner, on the way to work, while folding my clothes. I remembered how he laughed, how he said my name softly, how he held my hand when I felt nervous. I missed the little things, the way he looked at me when I wasn't looking, the way he called me just to say goodnight. Those small moments felt bigger now. I didn't miss the big gifts or fancy dinners. I missed the love in his eyes, the love that disappeared slowly while I kept hoping. That's what broke me the most. I gave him everything, and still, I wasn't enough. But one day, I looked in the mirror again. I didn't cry this time. My eyes were tired, but stronger. My face looked different. Not happy. Not yet. But healing. I smiled. At myself. A weak smile. But it was a start. I told myself, he left. But I'm still here. I remembered the girl who waited in the rain for him, who skipped her own plans just to meet him, who said sorry even when it wasn't her fault. She didn't disappear. She was still alive. Just hurt, but not broken. I started walking every evening. No music. Just the sound of my steps. I didn't wait for his call. I stopped checking if he saw my story. I blocked him. Not because I hated him, but because I needed peace. I wanted my heart to breathe. I wanted to feel free again. Slowly, I picked up the pieces. I read books. I wrote my thoughts. I cried when I had to. And I smiled when I could. I didn't force anything. Some days were hard. Some nights were worse. But I kept moving. One step at a time. That's how healing works. It doesn't shout. It whispers. Months passed. I didn't forget him completely. But I stopped waiting. His name didn't make me cry. His memory didn't break me anymore. I was not the same girl. I was stronger, softer, wiser. I loved him truly. He didn't. That's not my fault. Sometimes we give love to the wrong person, but that doesn't mean we stop loving. It means we learn. I learned to love myself again. I learned that I was enough. Even when he walked away, I stayed with myself. And that is the kind of love that never leaves. Now, when people ask me, "How are you?" I smile and say, "I'm okay." And I mean it. I still have days when my heart feels heavy, but I don't carry pain like before. I carry lessons, I carry hope, and I carry love. This time, for myself. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to our channel. Share your story in the comments. The end.